Most men go their entire lives hearing what women say and never once understanding what they do. You're told to listen, to chase, to perform, to impress. And yet, the ones who do all that, the men who give everything, are often the ones left wondering what went wrong. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once observed that it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And when it comes to understanding women, your reaction to their subtle signals, their quiet behaviors, their unspoken love, is everything. If you react with desperation, you lose. If you react with calm awareness, you see what others miss. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a woman and thought, why her? Why now? Why is she pulling me in when I haven't said a word? Have you ever watched a man who barely speaks, barely tries, and yet women orbit around him like gravity? That's not charm. It's not money. It's not looks. It's something else, something primal, and it's tied to one truth most women will never say out loud. Women don't fall in love with noise. They fall in love with energy, with stillness, with presence. This isn't about tricks. It's not about pickup lines or fake alpha energy. It's about something far deeper, something you were never taught. Because if you ever figured it out, you'd stop chasing and they'd lose control. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When your thoughts are colored by the need to impress, your soul reflects that desperation. But when your thoughts are colored by stillness and presence, you become something rare. And women feel that difference immediately. Because here's the truth. A woman's love doesn't always come in words. It comes in actions. Subtle, quiet, easily missed unless you know what to look for. And today, you're going to see exactly what those actions are. You're going to learn how women show love when they're not trying to. And more importantly, you're going to learn how to recognize it without ever needing to ask. So sit back, don't blink. Because once you understand this, you'll never see women or yourself the same way again. The philosopher Seneca once wrote that it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. And one of the greatest wastes is the time we spend chasing love that is already being shown to us in ways we don't recognize. 1. She prioritizes your peace. Most men chase love, thinking it's loud. They think it comes with words, with grand gestures, with some dramatic confession. But the truth, the kind of love you actually want, the rare kind, moves in silence. It doesn't come with fireworks. It comes with calm. A woman who truly loves you won't try to impress you. She'll try to protect you. And not in some obvious, overbearing way. She'll protect your energy, your stillness, your peace without saying a word. You'll notice it in the way she stops bringing drama into your space, the way she filters what she says, not out of fear, but out of respect. She doesn't want to see you unsettled. She doesn't want to see your focus broken because in her eyes, your peace is sacred. See, most women don't show love the way men are taught to look for it. They don't always say, "I love you," with their mouths. They say it by removing things from your life. The stress, the noise, the distractions. A woman who loves you won't add chaos. She'll subtract it. And here's where most men miss it. They're too busy looking for the words, too obsessed with being told how special they are. But a Stoic man doesn't need to hear it. He sees the shift in her behavior. He sees how she curates the environment around him, how she softens her tone when she speaks, how she creates space for his silence without rushing to fill it. That is love. Not performed, not declared, but chosen again and again in the quiet details. And when you're a man who values your peace more than your ego, you start to see it clearly. A woman's love isn't always loud, but it is always intentional. And the one who protects your peace is the one you never have to doubt. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus also taught that no great thing is created suddenly, and the love that protects your peace is no exception. It is built through the accumulation of small choices, each one reinforcing the last. Each time she chooses to soften her tone, she builds that love. Each time she filters her words, she builds that love. And as she builds it, it becomes part of your life. 2. She mirrors your energy. There's a moment, subtle, quiet, when a woman begins to reflect you, not because she's trying to copy you, but because she's responding to you without even realizing it. She mirrors your tone, your pace, your silence. She laughs a little softer. She sits a little closer. Her body starts to sync with yours, not out of effort, but instinct. That's not attraction. That's alignment. You see, most men are desperate to impress. They change who they are to match what they think she wants. But a Stoic man never moves first. He lets the world respond to his frequency. And a woman, when she feels that presence, that calm direction, she begins to calibrate herself to it. Like water poured into the shape of its container, she adapts. Not to please, but because something in her recognizes that she can finally relax. And here's the paradox. The less you try to lead her, the more she follows your lead. Not through words, through behavior, through rhythm. You'll notice she uses less makeup around you. She speaks more honestly. Her mask comes off because yours was never on. That's what Stoic energy does. It doesn't chase. It anchors. And women, whether they admit it or not, are searching for that. A man whose emotional state is not a reaction, but a signal. A man whose stillness says, "You're safe here, but you'll never control me." When she starts matching your calm, your pauses, your emotional restraint, she's not pretending. She's surrendering. And that's how you know she's not just attracted to your energy. She's becoming it. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. And when you anchor yourself in that power, she cannot help but align with it. She feels it in her body before her mind catches up. 3, she gives without expecting. Real love doesn't ask for attention. It doesn't beg to be seen. It simply gives without announcement, without scoreboard, without need. When a woman loves you, truly loves you, you'll start to notice something rare. She gives without expecting. She offers parts of herself, pieces of her time, effort, affection, without asking what she'll get in return. And that's the part most men overlook. Because they've been trained to think love is earned through performance, that if they do enough, say enough, buy enough, maybe she'll stay. But the truth, the deepest kind of feminine love doesn't respond to effort. It responds to energy. And when a woman feels your steadiness, your groundedness, your calm, masculine frame, she wants to give, not to win you, but to honor what you awaken in her. You'll see it in small things. She remembers the details you mentioned once and never repeated. She brings you coffee before you ask. She checks in, not because she's insecure, but because she actually cares how you're doing. And she'll do it without keeping score, without expecting a grand, romantic gesture in return. Because what she's responding to isn't your words, it's your stillness. That's the secret most dating advice never tells you. Women don't give because you impress them. They give because they feel safe with you. And a Stoic man, a man who needs nothing but accepts everything with awareness, that man creates a space she doesn't want to leave. So while others chase love with effort, you simply notice who gives without needing a receipt. Because love, when it's real, isn't a transaction. It's a gift. And the woman who gives from peace, not pressure, that's the one who already chose you. The philosopher Seneca once observed that true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future. And when a woman gives without expecting, she is not anxiously depending on the future. She is present. She is giving because she wants to, not because she wants something in return. 4, she invites you into her world. You can always tell when a woman is just talking and when she's letting you in. Most men don't know the difference. They think access to her body means access to her soul. But a Stoic man sees clearly. Physical closeness means nothing without emotional invitation. And when a woman begins to love you, really love you, she doesn't just talk, she reveals. She begins showing you the unfiltered version of her world. Not the polished surface, but the cracks in the walls, the places where she's been hurt, the dreams she hides from everyone else, the fears she's never said out loud. She introduces you to her family, not because it's time, but because it feels right. She opens up about her childhood, her traumas, the moments that built her and broke her. She shows you the books she reads when no one's around, the playlists she made during heartbreaks, the things she's never posted. Why? Because somewhere deep down she no longer wants to impress you. She wants to be seen by you, and that's a rare kind of trust. Most women are guarded, and for good reason. They've been judged, used, abandoned. But when she senses that your presence is a sanctuary, that your silence is stronger than your opinions, she lets the walls down. Not all at once, not dramatically, but piece by piece. And if you're paying attention, you'll realize this isn't just small talk. This is sacred access. You've become the place she runs to, not the one she performs for. And a Stoic man doesn't exploit that. He honors it because he knows something weaker men don't. A woman's true world isn't given to the loudest man. It's shown to the safest one. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that no great thing is created suddenly. And the trust that allows her to invite you into her world is no exception. It is built through the accumulation of moments where you show her that you are safe, that you are steady, that you will not use her vulnerability against her. 5. She becomes soft in your presence. The modern world has hardened a lot of women. They've had to fight, to defend, to protect themselves. And many carry that edge like armor, sharp words, quick wit, a constant need to prove they don't need anyone. But here's the truth. Most men never get to see. A woman doesn't stay hard. Not around a man who makes her feel safe. When a woman loves you, really loves you, she doesn't try to dominate the space anymore. She relaxes, she exhales, she becomes soft. Not weak, but feminine. That softness is a reaction. It's her nervous system finally calming down. Her mind no longer preparing for battle. Her emotions no longer bracing for disappointment. And the man who causes that shift, he didn't beg for it. He didn't demand it. He just was calm, clear, grounded. That kind of masculine energy doesn't provoke her defenses. It disarms them. And in that space, she becomes more herself than even she expected. She speaks slower. She touches you more gently. Her body language curves, not sharpens. She no longer needs to win. She just wants to feel. This is something a Stoic man understands. A woman's softness is not a sign of submission. It's a sign of trust. She lets her guard down because your presence told her it was safe to do so. And that version of her, the soft one, the vulnerable one, the one who finally stops fighting, that's the version no other man gets to see. That's the version only you unlock, without a word, without a demand, just by being the calm in her storm. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When her thoughts are colored by safety, her soul reflects that softness. And that softness is a gift that she gives only to the man who makes her feel truly secure. 6. She respects your silence. When a woman is in love with you truly deeply, she doesn't fear your silence. She respects it. Most people get uncomfortable when things go quiet. They rush to fill the space with noise, with words, with distractions. But a woman who loves you doesn't need the constant chatter. She understands that silence with the right man is not empty. It's full. She doesn't interrupt your stillness. She doesn't demand constant reassurance. She doesn't push you to speak when you're deep in thought, because something in her trusts the energy between you more than the sound of your voice. She'll sit next to you without needing to talk. She'll let you process, let you pause, let you be. She knows your silence doesn't mean distance. It means depth. And the fact that she doesn't panic in that space, that's a rare form of love. It's a sign she's aligned with your rhythm, not trying to control it. It shows she honors your emotional world, even when you're not putting it into words. That's not insecurity. That's intimacy. The Stoic man doesn't talk to prove himself. His presence speaks louder than explanation ever could. And when a woman senses that, when she feels that she can simply exist beside you without fear, without pressure, that's when she feels most connected. Not when you speak, but when you're silent and she chooses to stay. The philosopher Seneca once observed that it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. And when you waste your time filling silence with meaningless words, you miss the opportunity to connect with someone who is comfortable in that silence with you. 7. She stays even when she could leave. The easiest thing in today's world is to leave. One misunderstanding, one delay in a reply, one moment of distance, and most people are already gone, ghosted, replaced, forgotten. But a woman who truly loves you doesn't leave at the first sign of discomfort. She stays even when she has every excuse not to. Not because she's weak, not because she lacks options, but because something in her sees beyond the moment. She recognizes the depth. She values the connection, And she chooses you, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's not. She doesn't run when you withdraw for a while. She doesn't punish you for needing space. She doesn't try to control your emotions or force affection. She lets you move at your pace because she knows her worth isn't measured by how loudly she demands love, but by how quietly she offers it. And while other women might test, manipulate, or walk away to gain power, she simply remains, not to prove anything. But because her loyalty isn't performative, it's instinctive. That's how you know it's real. Because love isn't proven in how someone treats you when everything is going right. It's revealed in how they show up when things get hard, when you're not at your best, when the silence grows long and heavy. A woman who stays when she could have walked away isn't weak. She's rare. And a Stoic man sees that for what it is. Not a trap, not an emotional game, but a quiet kind of devotion most men will never recognize until it's gone. She had every reason to leave, and she chose not to. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that no great thing is created suddenly. And the loyalty that makes her stay is no exception. It is built through the accumulation of moments where she chooses you, where she stays, where she refuses to walk away. You've heard the phrases, if she wanted to, she would. But most men don't know what it actually looks like when she does. Love isn't always loud. It's not always poetic. Sometimes love is silent effort. It's invisible loyalty. It's the 1,000 small things she does when no one is watching because she's already chosen you. And a Stoic man, he doesn't miss that. He sees the shift in her behavior, not just her words. He reads the room, not just the message. He watches how she moves when she doesn't know she's being watched. Because women may say many things, but how they act around the man they truly love, that's the truth. So, don't ask her how she feels. Watch how she protects your peace, how she mirrors your calm, how she gives without asking, how she lets you into her world, how she softens, stays quiet with you. And most of all, how she stays when every part of the world says she could leave. That is love. Not the kind that begs to be posted, not the kind that needs a caption, but the kind that speaks through action, through patience, through presence. If you've made it this far, you're not like most men. You don't need love to shout, you just need it to be real. So, leave a comment with the word stillness. Let the world perform. Let others chase. You observe, you lead, and you remember. The woman who acts with love is louder than the one who only speaks of it. Stay still. Stay sharp. Stay stoic. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When you cultivate thoughts of stillness and awareness, your soul reflects that, and she will see it, she will feel it, and she will be drawn to it. Because in a world of men who are chasing, a man who is centered in himself is a rare and precious thing. Be that man, build that life, and watch how everything changes.